Yo, what's up everybody? It's Connor from Unscripted, back again with another video. In today's video we have some absolutely crazy CDL ROSTERMANIA news and drama to talk about, and as always we'll be doing things off the script. Before we hop into the video, as always, don't forget to leave a like down below if you enjoy. Leave a comment definitely as well with your thoughts on some of these potential roster moves in this drama, because there is a lot to unpack here. And subscribe to the channel as well if you are enjoying the content and looking for more videos from me in your subscriber box. I appreciate all of that. It means a lot to me, and let's hop right in. So there's a lot going on in this video, so hopefully I can keep it all straight, not get it jumbled. Starting off with the least surprising news, of course, Accuracy officially has been benched by the Rocker, which we knew was coming, basically. He says there's highs and lows in this path of being a pro, but this is the lowest it can get. For anyone that supports me, I genuinely appreciate you. I'll be back. I don't know if he will be back. He could be, he might not be. I think even though his play style might not mesh with a lot of teams, he does have a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, a lot of pedigree. He's been very clutch, so I would be surprised either way. If he's back, I won't be surprised with a different team or even with Rocker. I doubt with Rocker, but if he's not back, I also won't be surprised. We'll just have to see how it goes. But he is out for Major Maniac, who I was hoping for my boy Tom Gravity, didn't get him, but Major Maniac should at the very least improve them in their search and destroy, and he honestly might improve them all around. So we'll see how that move goes, but that is just not surprising because we already pretty much knew about that ahead of time. Now moving over to the Seattle camp. Octane tweets, I gotta write a book when my career's over. I cannot believe what's happened in the last 2 years. Didn't really know. I kind of thought it was bait. C Method says, sorry, bro, you'll be back. He says, we're dropping like flies, man. And it seemed like they're trying to bait a little bit, trying to get some impressions going, because that's just how those guys are. And then Nubsy also tweets, just going to stress eat back to 300 pounds. So something is going on with the Seattle camp. We know that from these tweets. We're just not sure what, and we'll get to in a minute what it was. But so far, just some speculation basically on the timeline. And Zuma hops in and he says, CDL teams like to make roster changes when things look promising and not change at all when they suck. It's so weird. So, again, the plot thickens. Something's going on. We just aren't sure what. Enable says the same thing. Hex must have given some goodie bags to the people running some of these teams. LMAO, the blind leading the blind. So, he's basically saying these guys are high. What is going on? So, complete speculation. Obviously, the pros behind the scenes know something that we don't know at this point, and in a minute here, we will see the reveal. And yeah, so they were right. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. So over to the London camp, because this is really where this starts. Astro. I saw his ad. Afro says approved. We think that means his visa. That's what, because the latest rumor was that he was in application for his visa, and if he get approved, he might be going to the London Royal Ravens. So there was that. What's this? Oh yeah, and then this, Alex, who we knew was potentially going to be back with London in place of Zaptius. Dylan posts on, it looks like Instagram, that Alex, glad he's finally back. So Alex back in the States. That's two guys for the London Royal Ravens now getting to the States. And Zed weighs in. He says, my luck this year has been awful. So putting the pieces together, my assumption at this point was Alex would be back in the lineup in place of Zaptius, who we know his contract is expiring, and maybe Afro will be replacing Zed in the starting lineup. You know, that would be the new SMG duo, Alex and Afro. That's what it seemed like at this point. That's why Zed tweeted this. And then finally, Crone, he removes some of the speculation on the Seattle side of things. He says, a lot of questions about Seattle Surge and Octane at this moment. I'm not 100% sure what's going on yet, but from what I've heard, Octane has not been benched. And then JCap, loving his impression, says, you sure? Not what I've heard. Just completely stirring the pot there, of course. And then we finally get the bombshell. So here's what we get from Crone and from Dot Esports. Zaptius could be joining the Paris Legion. We'll get to that in a minute. Alex and Afro potentially move to the starting lineup, so that is kind of what we expected. You know, after seeing the Zed tweets, after seeing that Afro got his visa approved, that was expected. Subliners buyout for Saints turns Paris away. We'll get to that. And then the Seattle news, Decimate benched himself. So we'll start there. The article really does not have much detail on that, but it just basically says that Decimate has benched himself after about 2 weeks of being in the starting lineup. And from there, I have no clue where Seattle goes. If they don't want to, you know, spend money or do anything, they could just put Looney back on the roster. I kind of doubt that. I would think they'd have to go a different route. Maybe they could look at a guy like Saints in the amateur scene, a couple other potential amateur SMG players who are, you know, very talented, could use a shot in the CDL. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I don't understand why. That's going to be one that we don't know why yet. But that's going to be nice to find out, because right now we have no clue. Just know that he benched himself, which I don't know why that would even happen. It makes zero sense to me, but there could be personal reasons, so I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to say that it surprised me. It came out of nowhere. And right now, there's not much detail. We do not know, what the replacement is or anything like that. The subliners buyout for Saints turns Paris away. So this at least made me happy to see that Paris tried to do this, because I was saying after Paris dropped Fire, I was saying, please get Saints, please get Saints. That would be, him and Classic together with Scraps and Aqua on the ARs. That'd be a decent team. I was hoping they'd get him, and they never did. They got Temp to run the AR instead, and Scraps to run the SMG, and I didn't really like that move at all. I thought Saints would have made them much better. But here it turns out the buyout for Saints turned Paris away. But a little unfortunate, the buyout was only $25,000. So spend a little bit of money. I mean, it's not the end of the world to spend $25K. You'd have to pay his salary too, which for half the season I guess would be about $25K as well. So you're looking at $50K, basically a minimum salary to buy out Saints and pay him for the rest of the year. I don't know how you don't do that. He's so good. He's been good all year in Challengers, just making plays all the time. One of the best SMGs in the Challenger scene. Better, I think, than some of the pro SMG players. And they didn't want to pay $25K for him. So that's a little bit frustrating, I'm sure, from the perspective of Paris fans. Their team has a chance to get a really good player for a pretty good price, and they don't do it. So that's got to be frustrating. But then we get that Zaptius could be joining the Paris Legion. So basically, since he will be on an expired contract with London, he will no longer be under contract with the London Royal Ravens. He will not need to be bought out. Basically, he will just be a free agent, free to be signed wherever, and Paris is looking after him. So the article does say that they're not sure who he would be in the place of if he joined Paris. My guess probably would be Classic, honestly, because Temp, when he got there and moved to the AR role, he honestly has not been playing terribly. He might even be one of their better players right now, which is saying something. But him and Scraps, they're two most consistent players recently. You got to look at Aqua and Classic. Obviously, Zaptius playing the SMG role. I think that's the move. I don't think they would replace Temp again, then move Scraps back to an AR role and put Zaptius in there as an SMG. I think they would probably just replace Classic. Classic had a really good start to the season, and then he really fallen off a lot. He was like a A or high B tier SMG player in like stage 1. He was just phenomenal in Search, making all kinds of plays. In Paris, they were playing well too, so it was clearly affecting the team and bringing team success with him. But then he really slowed down. He's just getting, his slaying numbers are terrible. He's putting pressure on the map, but it's not really leading to any success. They've all slowed down as a team, and he's probably a big reason for it. So if they want to make a change, I get it. I totally understand. I just don't think they should keep switching their positions around. Temp comes in, Scraps moves to the SMG. If they'd replace Temp, Scraps go back to the AR. I think it just makes the most sense to replace Classic, but we will have to see. That is just pure speculation and not confirmed. And then, yeah, like I said earlier, Alex and Afro potentially move to the starting lineup, so more roster moves for London, but also these guys were supposed to be there from the beginning. So the beginning lineup was supposed to be Shawnee, Dylan, Alex, and I can't even remember who the fourth was. But anyway, Afro was supposed to be the sub to start the year. Oh, Zero was supposed to be the fourth, and he can never play. And then Afro was supposed to be the sub. And then Alex got out for personal reasons, and Zed came in. And then when Trey couldn't get there, Zero, Parasite was in. And then finally, Afro was supposed to be the sub, but he was never around because of his visa issues, so they had to make other changes without ever including their sub. Now it's finally changing. So, I mean, even though it's more roster changes, it is also back sort of to their original plans. I know Paul X is there instead now, but Shawnee was supposed to be there originally, Alex was there originally, and Afro was a sub originally. So now those guys are getting their shot to get back in the lineup, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. I just think it's a bold move from London after they won 2 series over the first 2 stages. They then won, They won 2 series in the Stage 3 group play, plus 2 at the major, right? Yeah. So I struggle to see why you make a roster move after that sort of success. I know it's not like crazy success, but for them it is. It looked like they were finally building something. They had Paul X and Zaptius playing well together. Their team was having more success. They were becoming much more consistent, getting better in all modes. And then they make a roster move, and it's not just a small move. It's 2 guys in, 2 guys out. It's just surprising to me. We'll see how it pays off. But like I said, maybe they just want to see what their original lineup could have done, and this is as close as they're going to get to their lineup anymore because Zero is gone, and Dylan is just he's done not very good anymore. So we'll see how that goes. It is surprising a little bit to me, but I guess we're going to see how it goes. What else can you say? It's bold. It could pay off. These guys, Afro, he's very talented, so this could raise their ceiling quite a bit. But it could also lower their floor quite a bit, and just depends which version of the new team we get. If they're playing well, they could probably keep continuing their success. But if they play poorly, it could get ugly, and it could get very ugly. So that's all the news we have right now. I'm sure there could be more coming. The article did say that there are at least 3 teams that could have different lineups for Stage 4 other than Minnesota. So that would be Paris, that would be London, and that would be Seattle. There could be more in the way, I don't know, maybe something with Octane going on, who knows, but for now this is all we have, so that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like down below, leave a comment as well with your thoughts on some of these roster moves, and subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoyed and you're enjoying the content and looking for more of it. I appreciate all that, it means a lot to me. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you have a good day today, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.